Welcome, everyone, to the Deadline Watch Party. My name's Chris Parrish. I'm alongside Chris Best. Thank you for joining in. We're about to watch WWE NXT Deadline. That's right, 5 great matches, all coming to you from beautiful San Antonio, Texas. We are not in San Antonio. I've been there. I should have worn my San Antonio hoodie. That would have been a little bit ironic, but
I was gonna say,
nonetheless,
kind of surprised you didn't.
it might be washing. I don't know. But live from the Boeing Center. Always fun to say Boeing for ways not to get canceled. Yeah, NXT Deadline right here coming in. We're seeing Ricky Saints, Oba Femi getting warmed up. The winner of this match will face Cody Rhodes next Saturday at Saturday night's main event. We have 2 Iron Survivor matches, as well as
Yeah,
a
and
couple other.
I can't wait for the Iron Survivor matches.
But first things first, if you want to help support and watch and do all that stuff with the channel, if you want to show your love and appreciation, make sure you're hitting all those links, support, follow, notification buttons, all that stuff. Make sure you're doing that, whether it's on the Facebook, the YouTube, the Twitch, the X, or the Instagram. All of that would be nice. Programming note though, if you are on Instagram and you are going to be commenting, understand that those comments won't be shown on screen for the sole point of StreamYard not allowing Instagram comments through. But I do have my Instagram open and I will talk about them and I will address them. So just make sure that you keep them professional, and just nice. And yeah, we're here to have some fun, watch some pro wrestling as we're seeing how JC Jane reclaimed the NXT Women's Championship by beating Tatum Paxley and seeing that betrayal of Izzy Dane. Now we saw in TNA Final Resolution, we saw the Righteous appear. There's been a lot of speculation and a lot of fans wondering whether or not WWE will ever bring in the Righteous, and somebody that I would love to see them paired with would be a Tatum Paxley. What would you say on that?
Oh, 100% I agree. Because when I saw that the Righteous had joined the TNA roster, I was kind of surprised because I had heard that WWE was making a play to get them. I didn't hear anything from TNA's side though. That's what surprised me.
Yeah, and if you haven't had a chance to watch Final Resolution, I believe you can still on TNA Plus. So, sadly, that is probably the only place you can watch it, and unless it's those weird websites that I advise not to, go and support the company. It's an amazing company to watch. But right now, as we will see, X Division champion Leon Slater later tonight in the men's Iron Survivor turn or match, as participants were selected by John Cena himself. And I believe, just off the top of my head, we have Miles Bourne, Leon Denix, Leon Slater, Joe Hendry, and obviously the man who is bouncy, Javon Evans. So, yeah, it's going to be very interesting. I do think, just like you're hoping, that Joe Hendry will be the winner. That is my prediction,
Yeah,
simply because I just don't see Leon Slater, nor do I see uh, Mr. Evans winning this match, because I think they're going to feud either with each other, against Dark State, maybe against each with that X Division Championship. I think Dion Lennox might be the wild card here, and I have a feeling that we're going to see it really come down to either Joe Hendry or Dion Lennox.
that's where I'm leaning towards as well. But I kind of have a dark horse pick in this match too. In Miles Bourne. I mean, here's a guy who's been just on fire lately, in my personal view.
Yeah, and he actually defeated Trick Williams to get into the spot. So, somebody who's definitely on a winning streak, definitely has the momentum going in. We also have the women's Iron Survivor match, which, top of my head, I believe it's Jordan Grace, Evolve Women's Champion Kendall Gray, Kalani Jordan, as we are seeing Joe Hendry coming in. So don't get too flustered there, best.
Just a smile. That's all you got.
Yeah, Lobo Vice and Sol Ruka finish it off on the Iron Survivor match. I do have Jordan Grace as my prediction for that match. I do think it's her time to go there, as it looks like we are setting up for the NXT title match right off the bat. What a way to kick off the show.
Yeah, I when I when I looked at the match listing, I honestly pegged this as the final match.
I mean, I think lately Deadline is definitely focused and surrounded with the Iron Survivor match, and I do think
Mm-hmm.
that is the match that we're going to end off with, whether it is the men's or the women's. But I don't hate this at all.
Neither do I.
As we do get the challenger Obafemi coming in. Now, a lot of people might think, hey, he's up against Ricky Saints. Prayer, if you like the Saints football team, do you think Ricky Saints is your favorite? It all depends on if Obafemi moves to a Raw or SmackDown anytime soon. If he doesn't, then I think Obafemi will walk out tonight as champion, as a two-time champion, and I think we will continue to go that route. But if he does move up, then yes, I do think this very well could be his final performance in NXT.
Yeah, I 100% think that if he does lose the match tonight, he actually, and I know it normally doesn't happen at the Royal Rumbles, but he gets called up at the Royal Rumble. And then maybe after the Rumble, we find out which roster he's going to.
Now, a lot of people have been staking claim of Austin Theory being the masked man. I do have some opinions on that I will talk more tomorrow on Chris Parrish podcast with a special host that I will reveal later in this broadcast. But I do think there's a potential of maybe a new group. Maybe a group that could go up against the Vision, and maybe this mystery attacker might not just be one person. However, if by chance we are to see Obafemi up, I wouldn't hate seeing him alongside of Bronson Reed, alongside of Braun Breaker in the Vision.
Mm-hmm.
He meets the criteria. He's one of the few guys that would make even those two look small. And he's, I think, at that time now where you put him under the guidance of Paul Heyman, he has a very bright future.
1000% he does.
All right, Ricky Saints, this is one thing I'm going to gripe on you about. If we're going to hold the championship, at least do it the proper way, man.
I was going to say he's holding it up the way Macho Man. I've seen Macho Man hold the title upside down like that a few times.
It's just a little pet peeve of mine. That is all.
Mm-hmm.
We have Obafemi staring a hole as he watches Ricky Saints finish his entrance off, and we have Mike Rome in the ring who's about to do those championship announcements. I've always thought if you've ever played the game Buzz, that was an old trivia game on the PlayStation. It always seems like if he had a son, Mike Rome would be that son.
What? Right? You just blew my mind because I didn't even think of that. It's been forever since I played that game too.
Oh, my brother and I would always play that game every time we'd hang out and have a couple alcoholic bevies. It was always one of those fun games to play. I'd be absolutely horrible until that final round where I would just pick an answer on that kind of the speed round, and because of that, I would lose the least amount of points. Come on, ref! You are holding the title upside down. What are we doing?
Right?
Oh. And now I think Ricky Saints, you're off the hook because you're not the only one who's made the mistake. I will ask Obafemi if you are to win this title, hold up the title the right way, please. Now, Ricky Saints, I will say you're doing already. What are you doing? Because you're wearing Carolina Panther colors, bro. What? Come on. Faux pas. Just a faux pas.
And I'm actually with you on this one. If you're the champion, black and gold should be your color if you're a saint.
At least do Mardi Gras colors. At the very least, I don't love them, but at least do them.
Yeah.
Hey, do Pelicans colors. Whatever. But I would say the colors you're wearing and the colors that Obafemi have on right now are both a non-starter. Unless you're adding some gold in there, because then a little bit of gold makes everything better. And no, I don't count the fluffies of Obafemi.
No, neither do I. I was thinking about that, but I'm like, no, that don't count. But Obafemi showcasing that impressive strength with that basically a stalling backbreaker there.
Yeah, that's the big thing with Obafemi. He is insanely strong. That's why I always want to watch guys truly get tested. See Obafemi in the ring with guys like Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker would be fun because they're all younger. But put him in with like a giant and a beast like Brock Lesnar. Now we're talking. Put him in a ring with a guy Randy Orton now, who every time he comes back adds 45 pounds. Yeah, we're talking.
That's why I think Obafemi is going to be one of. He's probably, if Obafemi does show up in the Royal Rumble, he probably gets one of those monster spots where he comes in and throws out 4 or 5 guys.
Instead of maybe having those like spots where they go quick, I would just have a one where we already have like 3 or 4 guys in the ring. Maybe we have a big guy kind of in there already. Out comes Obafemi. They both kind of clear the ring, so they're only getting like 2 each or so.
Yeah.
And then you get that big, like, okay, now it's time. Now, you can call it cockiness, you can call it confidence. Ricky Saints does like to have some fun and show about a little bit in the ring. You can always make the claim that in championship matches, you have to limit that. But at this point, he already has a victory over Obafemi. He was the one who defeated Obafemi for that championship. I say you keep what brought you there, but also make sure that if you're going to do it, I would just advise Obafemi to be on the ground instead of standing up on that same way.
Mm-hmm.
Because as we see now, he is very capable of changing the pace, even by laying down, because he has the strength of just picking you up and himself up at the same time.
And that's the one thing I always find about, that's scary about Obafemi is like he can match you in whichever way you want to wrestle. If you want to go speed, he'll match you for speed. But once he gets the advantage, he will slow that pace down.
Yeah, he's always had that history of kind of blowing his tank in his offense. And what I always thought was pretty remarkable as he had his reign as champion, he seemed to expand that tank as we went on.
Mm-hmm.
And what we thought was, okay, maybe he's, a 5 to 10 minute guy, gets it done. There you go. That's his cap off. Now all of a sudden he's becoming a 15, 20 minute guy. Now he has that ability to go even longer than that because he's conditioned himself so well that he's able to maintain that pace and just do it even longer. And I think that's one of the more dangerous and impressive feats of Obafemi. Do want to let everybody know that if you are ever in the Edmonton, Alberta area and you do want to get a chance to watch professional wrestling, whether it's AEW pay-per-views or WWE PLEs, make sure you go and check out Beercade YEG, located on 10544 82nd Ave. They are the proud sponsor and partner of the Chris Parrish podcast. And guess what? It is a very fun place. You not only have a great atmosphere, you get to play some video arcade games and eat some great food, plus good craft beer for very cheap prices. Beercade YEG is my preference when I go out and watch wrestling. It should be yours too. They even have a can with alcoholic beers and they call it Fuckets. Play on word on buckets. Yeah, I didn't just swear, people. It's what they call it. Just advertisement.
I'm just gonna have to head my way out there next anytime anytime I head out to Edmonton.
It's also PH, not an F, people. So get your mind out of the gutter. As Obafemi is sending Ricky Saints to the gutter after just punching him almost completely out. I will say, like, as the matches go between Ricky Saints and his opponents, usually the second match is always better than the first. So I gotta hand it to Ricky Saints that it's just not a one match end kind of a guy. Like, he does have consistently better matches as they progress, and that's always a good sign for someone who can carry a feud. We all know how good he is on the microphone. We know how charismatic he is. So it's all a matter of keeping that going, because he's showing you that when push comes to shove, he likes to shove back too.
Oh, but trying everything he can to keep Ricky Saints down. However, it's not working out.
Yeah, much like their first match, we saw Obafemi take it to Ricky Saints. Just kind of like what we're seeing now with whether it's all the slams or it's all the strikes, just trying to wear him down and try to really slow him down. But the one thing about Ricky Saints that always keeps going, he just has the tenacity. He has the heart. He has the determination. He doesn't know when to say when, and that's either his downfall or his greatest attribute. So you can't fault him for having that, because it's exactly what got him to the dance.
Mm-hmm.
He's just somebody that will work his entire ass to the dance and then prove he's one of the best dancers on the floor.
Yeah, he's just incredibly resilient, and sometimes the resiliency does get to him.
As we saw a little bit of his audible skills there as he went for the old school tightrope walk arm clothesline as Obafemi tried to really like he's like, guy, I saw this before. You're not gonna get me. He swipes the hand away, but Ricky Saints jumps, hits that spinning Hurricane Rana on him, and was able to just keep Obafemi guessing. And that's something that you have to do if you want to defeat Obafemi. You can't be predictable because as much as he can take a shot, he can deliver a shot. The one thing Obafemi is the one weakness he has is that he is open for shots. He definitely puts himself open to take
Hmm.
more shots than maybe he should.
And you talked earlier about the previous match here. The one thing I'm noticing in this match is they just know each other's moves right now, and it's going to take something extra special for either one of these men to come out on top.
Well, when you look at it from both men and their angles, Obafemi was the champion for as long as he was. He got caught by Ricky Saints. There's no and ifs or buts about it. He got caught, and
Hmm.
sooner or later, it was gonna happen. But he wants to prove that he's just not on a downfall. It was just a one hit wonder kind of a thing. It was a lucky shot at best.
Hmm.
And he wants to reclaim that championship and be that ruler again because a ruler cannot be the ruler if it isn't number one. For Ricky Saints, though, he needs to prove that he can get through the hurdle that is Obafemi. He's not just that one hit wonder. It wasn't just a lucky shot. He's someone who has the bullets in the chamber that will take anyone down if you're Obafemi or named somebody else. So this is as much of a mental block as it is physical for both men because it does shape their futures in completely different ways.
This is a smart move by Ricky Saints, having Obafemi down to the ground and just utilizing that 10-second count to catch himself.
Yeah, just able to make it back in the ring, followed by a Faymaster by Ricky Saints. Very smart to keep that offense on. Very smart to give Obafemi. Well, sorry, smarter to make sure that you're taking the opportunity that Obafemi had, and that was being laid out. The only problem is Obafemi had 9 seconds of rest.
Mm-hmm.
So did that help Obafemi or did that help Ricky Saints? That was the calculated risk you were talking about.
Yeah. But as it looks right now, it seems to have helped Saints out just as I thought.
So he has taken some vicious shots there from Obafemi. So, like I was saying, now it looks like it did help both men. And that's why we always say it was calculated risk.
Yep.
Now, the one thing Ricky Saints is looking for is those quick pins, and we've been seeing them throughout this match, trying just to get that lucky shot because, as we know, we might have an Iron Survivor. Ooh, a big ending there by Obafemi. I love the fact that he is starting to use that move. We
Mm-hmm.
have not seen many people use it since Big E in WWE, so it's kind of nice that it's being remembered. But we do have the Iron Survivor matches later tonight, but this match is definitely partially about survival for both Ricky Saints and Obafemi. But more, you'd have to argue for Ricky Saints because of the size factor.
Oh, 100%. Because what I'm noticing from Ricky Saints here is when he does get the offense in, he's been doing like the stick and move kind of thing, like hitting the big spot, getting his distance, and then hitting another spot just afterwards.
Now, while you were speaking there, we did see some of those heavy shots by Obafemi that lead to those open opportunities for Ricky Saints, and that was Obafemi getting a little bit too wide-eyed for offense as Ricky Saints was able to move out of the way. Obafemi ran right into those steps. Now he has hit a tornado DDT onto those steps. Tornado DDT was the move that won Ricky Saints that championship. Will he do it again? He's got it
Oh,
one, two.
I thought he had him. I thought Saints had him.
Back-to-back tornado DDTs, one on the steel steps outside. Ricky Saints brought Obafemi back in, was able to hit another tornado DDT, but it was not enough as Obafemi kicked out.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Ricky Saints' strength impresses me too for as small of a man as he is.
Well, he might look small, but you have to remember he's at the PC training every day. You've got 24/7 to everything you need to be successful. So if you're executing that, you're at the gym, you're watching the videos, you're studying. It's if somebody's making the move like Ricky Starks did to become Ricky Saints, then you damn well believe Ricky Saints is putting in that work. No.
Oh wow.
As Obafemi with his pop-up power bomb has once again reclaimed the NXT championship and is your NXT champion for the second time in his short but impressive career. So the reign of Ricky is no longer, and we now know that Obafemi will be challenging Cody Rhodes next Saturday at Saturday night's main event.
That's gonna be a hell of a match, especially for Obafemi. I mean, I'm now looking at that match as Obafemi's kind of initiation to the main roster, if that's a thing.
Yeah, and I wanted to, I kind of wanted to dive into it last night, but it was also something I wanted to wait for tonight about. I just don't see the need of rushing to a Ricky Saints Cody Rhodes match. We know that they're very good friends. In fact, we know the history and the stories that Ricky Saints, while a member of AEW, got into trouble for being at WrestleMania, for being at Royal Rumbles to support Cody and Jade,
Yeah.
as they are both friends of his. So I don't see why they were going to go that route and rush it the way this is. As Ricky Saints has gotten up, he looks pissed, but you have to think he's going to show respect to the new champion.
Oh yeah, and I get a feeling that somewhere down the line we are going to see a third matchup between these two.
The handshake has been made, respect has been given. Ricky Saints shakes the hand of the man who defeated him, Obafemi, your new NXT champion. One match down, 4 more to go. We have, I believe, 2 more singles matches, 2 more Iron Survivor matches. But before we get there, want to let everybody know that the Chris Bears podcast is a part of the Turnbuckle affiliation program. You see that beautiful modded logo down in the bottom corner there that I'm very proud about. In fact, I might even go to one Godfather and be like, hey, just saying, maybe we go with it. But we're also a place where we want people a part of us. We want you to be involved. We want to be able to share these opportunities with more people, and we want to grow and become better ourselves. The only way to do that is by asking for help, because we know in 2025 it might not be easy, but asking for help is the best way to grow. So come check out how you could help us grow.
A Turnbuckle affiliation program is looking for more people. If you have passion level for pro wrestling, sports, videos games, or something else, then Turnbuckle Studios is the place to be. If you have ever wanted to pursue content creation and want to join our team, then we would love to have you. Check out turnbucklestudios.org or contact us by email today, because your future is now, and we want you to tap in.
Going to turnbucklestudios.org is your place to go and answer that call. If you want to contact us and if you want to take that next step, whether that is content creating, whether that is maybe even something different, like maybe writing or whatever the case may be, and you just want to be introduced to what you see here, please go to turnbucklestudio.org/join. That's right. You just got to put a /join after turnbucklestudios.org, and that takes you right there. That website allows you to go and do your homework, find out where you would go to, whether it's meeting who's already available on the team, whether it's checking out latest episodic shows. But please, all I ask, if you are serious and you want to become a member, the Turnbuckle affiliation program, turnbucklestudios.org/join is what you need to do. Now, if you also want a chance to shop Turnbuckle Studios and maybe even get one of these bad boys, a Chris Bears podcast hoodie, maybe even something else, go check out our mobile website in carlcarafel.redbubble.com. And I'll show you a quick video here, and then I'll give you an opportunity to go refresh your bevies, maybe go to the bathroom as we prepare for the second match of the evening.
The Turnbuckle Studios store is open for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the merch and represent the best from the shows you watch on a weekly basis. Multiple styles to choose from with over 10 products available. Don't get left out and pick up all your favorites today. Find us at carlcarafel.redbubble.com.
That's right. Now, I'm just going to let everybody get a couple seconds to just kind of get their beverages and whatnot. So, as you do that, we are getting in live Kendall Gray, the Evolve Women's Champion, with Ren Sinclair, as they're having a little interview about what's here to come. And Kendall Gray, definitely a part of that Women's Iron Survivor match. We know Ren Sinclair was part of last year's Women's Iron Survivor match. She did not win, but she had a great introduction. And I remember being very impressed with her in that match last year. Kendall Gray has that opportunity this year. And I will say, I've been very impressed with Kendall Gray, and she is my dark horse on winning this team. What do you think about what you saw as we have Sol Ruka FaceTiming Zarya right now?
I unfortunately had to miss it. I had to go take care of something personal.
Oh, no. The question was just like, what do you think of Kendall Gray so far in NXT?
Oh,
Not
she's
so much
one. I 100% agree with you. She's my dark horse pick as well. I she's fastly becoming one of my favorite women on the NXT roster. As right now, we are looking at one of my favorite in Sol Ruka. She's fastly like on that rise, and I look forward to her segments, whether she's in the ring or if she's doing a backstage segment calling out Joe Hendry like she has been the last few times I've seen her. It's been extremely entertaining to watch her.
Now, I was very intrigued with what we saw with Solarika and Zarya's right now. We're seeing Hank and Tank as they have we're kind of getting a vlog-esque type segment here with them, but um just staying on Solarika, we did find out yesterday on SmackDown that she will be taking on Bailey at Saturday night's main event. We are seeing that. So we are seeing kind of an opportunity of what's in the future of Solarika.
Mm-hmm.
I do think we are seeing a closer to that next step with that relationship with Zarya and Solarika. We didn't see
Mm-hmm.
Zarya on SmackDown. I do think we are closer to Zarya turning on Solarika than maybe we think. And I think with her being on the phone and not physically visible, we
Yeah.
might see Zarya during the Iron Survivor match.
Yeah. Now, do you think that if this turn does happen, obviously it's going to lead to a match between Zarya and Sol. But is this the way that we say goodbye to Sol before she makes her move to the main roster? We've already seen her, Sol Ruka, wrestling a few times this year on the main roster.
I think it's something that you definitely have the legs to hold to a stand and deliver for sure.
Mm-hmm.
With Solarika, I don't think you need to completely rush everything. I know it's easy to say that because the Royal Rumble is coming up, and I think we did have 5 NXT female representation just this year's Rumble back in February.
Yeah.
I don't know if you necessarily have to hot shot it. You can, but I do think with the time we spent on the relationship with Zarya and Solarika, there's no way or no reason why you can't spread it out over a 4 to 5 month period and tell the proper story and then say, okay, now you're both on your next step.
Yeah.
I do think that the after Mania stuff is just as important as the before because WrestleMania gets very hectic, very busy, and we always talk about who got left off, and it's very easy for somebody like a Sol Ruka to be left off because they may not have something right off the bat.
Yeah.
So take that time to properly install Sol Ruka in your lineup when everything's died down a little bit.
Yeah, because I can definitely see a post WrestleMania call up for her. Because basically, after WrestleMania, that's kind of like a soft reset, and we start on a new wrestling year, as it were.
Yeah. We did see Hake and Tank's kind of vlog style segment as they did go to Pro Wrestling Noah. And I believe that they became the Pro Wrestling Noah Tag Team Champions in the process.
Mm-hmm.
So we're seeing a lot of that crossover with Pro Wrestling Noah, as that's kind of the one, I don't want to say lost affiliation between WWE and someone else, but one we don't talk about as much simply because of how hot the TNA NXT partnership is right now. And then obviously with the AAA WWE one as well. So I just feel it gets lost in the shuffle, but Hank and Tank showcasing that they're taking full advantage of that one. So congratulations,
Yeah,
Hank.
yeah. Congratulations to them both. And Charlie Dempsey also spent time over there.
Mhm.
Almost was there for a time. And in exchange, we got Inamura from there.
Yeah, and Charlie Dempsey just took on Santana this past week at in TNA. So fantastic outing for him.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to say, like, I think Charlie Dempsey is probably someone that post Stand and Deliver we're probably going to get a lot more of on in NXT. And I wouldn't
Yeah,
be hesitant to see maybe Charlie Dempsey maybe go after that North American Championship down the road.
yeah. I get a few. I agree with you. I agree. I think 2026 is going to be a big year for Charlie Dempsey, and he's going to finally take that step that I've wanted to see him take for the better part of this year.
Now, if anybody did miss Final Resolution, we did get a lot of involvement with NXT and TNA. Congratulations to Stax, who became the new international champion as he defeated Steve Macklin for that title. We did see a huge brouhaha afterwards as all the NXT and TNA members, not on the roster, but the ones that have been kind of going over, were going at it. We saw Stax take a shot at Santino there, and as we have Bobby Stats in the chat, say hello. How are you doing, Bobby? We are watching NXT Deadline, getting ready for the Women's Iron Survivor match with former TNA Knockouts champion Kalani Jordan, the first ever Women's North American champion, coming down to kick off this match. She is someone that has been absolutely on fire in this last half of 2026. She is someone that I think could be very, very damaging to others in this match, in the sense she is someone that could sneakily take this match.
I think you have to go with her if you want to keep this heel build with her. Because I feel like when she lost the TNA title, it was way too soon.
Yeah, we talked, or I had mentioned how I would be surprised to see Dion, or I wouldn't be surprised to see Dion Lennox and Joe Hendry be kind of the main two for the men. I have a feeling we're going to see Jordan Grace and Kalani Jordan be that final two for the women, as we are getting Kendall Gray, the Evolve Women's Champion, coming out by San Antonio's own Ren Sinclair. Yeah, she's from San Antonio. So, little known fact, but Kendall Gray coming down. We're going to see Kalani Jordan and Miss Gray kind of start this match off. It's going to be a very intriguing. Now, if anybody wants to know the rules of this match, it's very simple. 2 participants start. Every few minutes, somebody else will enter, as 5 people will enter, whether it's men or the women. And your job is to get as many pinfalls or submissions in there, more points. Each fall represents a point. But if you're somebody who got the pin or was pinned or submitted, you would spend a couple minutes in that box that you see outside before you can re-enter the match. And pinfalls, submissions, they can happen anytime in this match. So the 2 people starting right now in Kendall Gray and Kalani Jordan have the biggest opportunity because they have more opportunities to score those falls. As Bobby, thank you for liking the video on YouTube. I appreciate that. And everybody, Bobby Benito is a prime example of how to support this channel. Appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah, so in this instance, drawing the first 2 spots really isn't a bad idea, other than the fact that you do have to go the full 25 minutes.
Yeah, and that's the big one too. Can you get those opportunities in a short period of time? Do you want to attack when, say Kalani Jordan and Kendall Gray are 20 minutes in? You're coming out, you're number 5. You're just going to pick them apart. Maybe they're a little worn down. That's a strategy. But when you're as young and you're as ready as all 5 of these people are, I would say the opportunity that you have on you is greater than the strategy. So just being there for as much time, I would take that more than trying to take advantage of 5 minutes opposed to 25. The only person I think that's probably better at that is Jordan Grace. The only person who can really catch you probably on the best and the quickest way would be Sol Ruka, because that Soul Snatcher is, within seconds, boom, she could put 1, 2, maybe even 3 women down at once.
Yeah.
So far, smart move done by both the women's Evolve champion and the former Knockouts champion as they are going for those quick falls. The advantage to these falls is if you can score one real quick, you're up. You got that early lead. And if you were to do that now, you're 2.5 minutes into this match, which means you got 2.5 minutes until the next participant is in there. That means if you can score a fall now, that means you have 30 seconds of action between you and that third participant.
Yeah.
Because somebody has to be in that penalty box for 2 minutes. So might not be the worst idea because you can collect that early rest and get a lead all at the same time. That'd be very fortunate. Now, if I'm Kalani Jordan, I think I got to worry about being a little bit more aggressive now and then being a little bit more specific on my attempts as it becomes 3, 4, 5. Don't worry about getting caught later in the match, but try to take full advantage of it early in the match. I think that is probably the best way for both participants, but I think Kalani Jordan specifically is, like you said, like she is now kind of that heel figure. So we are seeing that character shift. We are seeing that little switch up in just how to go about things.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. As I'm looking out at the competitors on the bottom of the screen there, I know for a fact that Kalani Jordan's got kind of a mouth on her, and I'm pretty sure the other three are just chomping at the bit to punch that mouth.
Yeah, especially if your name is Jordan Grace. I'm sure that you have all the excitement build up to do so.
Yeah.
But speaking of Jordan Grace, that would be a third participant in this match, but we are less than 15 seconds now for that next competitor. My bet is probably one of Sol Ruka or Lola Vice. What do you say?
I'm leaning towards Lola Vice.
As Kendall Gray has just picked up a quick fall, and now Kalani Jordan will be in the match. It's only for a minute and 30 seconds, and now only 90 seconds. So Jordan Grace, ironically enough, that third participant in this match, but Kendall Gray now smart in order to get that fallout. Now she can only worry about Jordan Grace one-on-one. The problem is you get caught, it's all on you. Because if you're a Kalani Jordan, you're probably trying to prevent any pins that don't happen to you because you do not want anyone else to get any points. Bobby coming in saying Kalani Jordan is talented and she would be great addition to the main roster in the future. Yes, she would, Bobby.
I 100% agree with you, Bobby, but I think it's going to be another year or two probably before we see her come up.
I would put Kalani Jordan in the same way of maybe a Roxanne Perez in terms of timeline. I remember just being at the Rumble a few years back in San Antonio. We saw Roxanne Perez and everyone was talking about how she should be called up now. And then wait a couple of years, she was given a heel run. She really put herself in a completely different position. And then she became undeniable once she finally got up there. And now we're seeing kind of how quickly she belonged in the Judgment Day. And now Judgment Day is as hot as they've ever been.
Yeah.
Kalani Jordan is now out of the box and she goes right after Jordan Grace. The action does not stop in the Iron Survivor match.
Good job on the positioning of that referee to watch the 3 count there.
Just a beautiful sequence between Kalani Jordan and Kendall Gray right now.
Kalani just picked up a pinfall.
Yep, she did. And that means Kendall Gray now has to go to the penalty box for a minute and 30 seconds. But now what we have is Jordan Grace against Kalani Jordan for 90 seconds. Probably having a fantastic day despite an early morning dental visit. How's your day going? Hope you're having a great day as well. Yes, I know what everyone's thinking. You went to the dentist, now you're having an energy drink. Yeah. There's a reason why I have to go to the dentist.
Don't worry, Parrish. The last time I went to a dentist, I did the same thing.
It was actually like my best dental visit in a while. So winning. Oh, a beautiful front DDT sit out maneuver there by Kalani Jordan. Kind of like that. It was kind of like that. If you remember Seth Rollins when he was going through finishers, he had that kind of forward driving DDT, but Kalani
Yeah.
Jordan put that into a sit down version, kind of like a sit down power bomb. So very different.
And Jordan Grace was ready for the attack there.
What a very aware maneuver there by Jordan Grace, knowing the time. And I think that is a very big asset in this match. Just being conscious to the time, whether it's the action in the ring or even, who could be coming out the box, and just making sure that, you're not getting blindsided in any way.
Yeah, it's kind of like how if you watch MMA or boxing, it's kind of like how they are, because sometimes you'll see like the MMA fighter or the boxer taking a quick look at to see how much time is left in the round. And that's what I noticed out of Jordan Grace in that minute and a half there.
I think if there's one thing I would do, I would add a timer on top of the box, or even like make it a part of the box where you have the countdown visible, just so you're not always looking up to the Tron there. It's kind of like if you ever go to a local hockey game in, like, whether it's just like a children's hockey game or something like that, and sometimes the scoreboard's only on one side of the rink, and that's the only one that has like the penalty minutes or stuff like that. But you're playing in the other zone, you don't know how much time you have because you have to look the other way and you're taking your focus away from the action. Similar situation here, as Lola Vice is now in the match and quickly makes an impact as she gets a pinfall on Kendall Gray.
Jordan Grace has yet to get a pinfall in this.
Yeah, but right now the score is Kalani Jordan 1, Lola Vice 1, Kendall Gray 1, while Jordan Grace and Sol Ruka, who has yet to enter the match, both at 0. Kendall Gray is in that box for another minute. And if you're Kendall Gray, you're liking the fact that you have now spent what's going to be a collective 3 minutes in that box, and you're still tied for the lead.
Yeah, by that standard, she becomes one of my possible favorites to take this win.
Now, we talked about that ability to kind of get some rest. That's 3 minutes now she has to herself. And you're kind of still on even ground. You got to take that with a little bit of satisfaction for the fact that nothing has been really put out of contention yet, and that it's still a very competitive match in 20 seconds when you're back into the match. Now, for Kendall Gray, though, you have to look at the fact that you're the only champion in this match in any way. And the fact that you've been pinned twice now puts a target on your back, because both Kalani Jordan and Lola Vice now have something to say after saying, I pinned you. I want a shot at that Evolve Women's Championship.
Yeah, I like where you're going with that.
As ironically enough, Kendall Gray comes out of the box, and the first two people she goes after are the first two people that pinned her. Now she
And,
has Jordan Grace in an armbar.
and she just came out like a ball of fire, didn't she?
And she just catches Jordan Grace with a quick pinfall there. And now has quickly jumped to the lead. And Jordan Grace now in the box for a minute 30.
I actually find it funny that I had that MMA talk, and then Lola Vice comes out. Lola Vice being a former MMA fighter herself.
And then we saw a beautiful armbar submission.
Yeah.
And what I liked about that is we saw the armbar submission, but it was really the essence to getting that pinfall. Lola Vice with a running knee. Ooh, very close to having that second pinfall, but Kendall Gray having the awareness to break it up, maintaining the lead she has, as we are now 13 and a half minutes into this match, which means only 11 and a half left. And she still has a 2-1 lead.
Oh,
Now you have to think, if you're Jordan Grace, you need to do exactly what Kendall Gray did after coming out of the box, and that is come out, be a ball of fire, but also get a pinfall in some way. Get on the board. That must be a must do for the former TNA Knockouts champion.
and that's exactly what she's doing, having just kicked Kalani Jordan down.
Beautiful spine buster on the Evolve Women's Champion.
And just being aware that Lola Vice is within the vicinity too.
Mm-hmm. Jordan Grace doing everything she can to get that pinfall, but
And there it is.
yeah, as she catches Kalani Jordan, who was coming off from the top with a cross body, but just was able to catch one right before Sol Ruka is making her way out. Now it's official. All 5 members of this match are involved. And Kalani Jordan, who is now, I would actually, this might be a rule I would put in, and let me know what you think, and Bobby in the comments what you think. If Kalani Jordan interferes in the match before going to the box where she must go, I would dock her a point for any. So if you have one, you go to 0. If you're at 0, you go to -1.
Yeah, because Sol Ruka is now being taken out of the match completely. I was going to suggest either you do that or you add time to her penalty minutes, but I kind of like the taking away the 1 point better.
Yeah, because it's I like it for the sake, like, okay, you're sacrificing something by doing something you're not supposed to. Just like if you were to get disqualified, you'd lose a match, right? Which
Right.
is significant and equal to a fall. Now, you still have the time to get it back, but you have lost a fall, just like you would do in a regular match. If you were to get disqualified or doing something, you lose that next fall. Now, we did see Sol Ruka get taken away, and you can make that argument whether or not she is still maybe hurt, and this is a way of protecting her. But as we said earlier, she does have that ability to get multiple people at once.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see her coming back and hitting a soul snatcher on 2 women, and bam, she's right back in the game. I've watched this company too long to know what they do.
I was just gonna say I got the strong feeling we have not seen the last of Sol Ruca in this match.
But right now, for the first time, we have all participants in the match. No one is in the box. So it's a very filled ring right now with Kalani Jordan kind of at advantage. Now she goes to Jordan Grace and they're fighting on the apron.
And yes, Bobby, that's right. Sol Ruca does have a match at Saturday night's main event where she will be squaring off against Bailey.
Yeah. As we
And
just saw,
there she is.
Kalani Jordan hit a Spanish fly off the apron on a Jordan Grace with Sol Ruca coming right back in as we kind of predicted she would.
And she's wearing the knee brace now.
Yeah.
And there it is. There's the Soul Crusher as we talked about. And now she's just tied it up with Kendall Gray.
Yeah. So like I said, I've watched this company way too long. But if you're a Kendall Gray or you're a Jordan Grace, you're making sure you attack that left knee of Sol Ruca.
Mm-hmm.
But what's going to be funny, this is the first time two participants are in the penalty box at the same time. Will Lola Vice and Kalani Jordan, there we go. They're fighting inside the cage. That is what I wanted to see.
Kalani's trying to escape and Lola's not having it.
So we saw a missile drop kick by Sol Ruca on both Jordan Grace and Kendall Gray. And there's that awareness for Kendall Gray, making sure that she's breaking up pins. She's very aware that both her and Sol Ruca are tied up at 2 falls apiece as we have just over 5 minutes left in this match. You can't get out of this match. You can't lose that pinfall or lose that lead right now. If you're Kendall Gray, you have to do everything you can to just to pick your spots. And as both Kendall Gray has found herself in a submission attempt by both Jordan Grace, Sol Ruca right now.
Oh, both women getting kicked. Oh, those kicks to the back of the head. Oh,
as Lola Vice might just become Kendall Gray's best friend in that moment. As
now here's something I thought about. We got the referee that's on the outside who's there to open the door or anything like that. Can he make a decision at all? I have to assume all decisions have to happen in the ring, right?
Yeah, and he's also not the assigned official to the match.
Mm-hmm.
He is. It's like I think he's there just to maintain order with the cage.
But I'd have to assume that if the main referee got taken out, then he can step in and do it.
Yeah. As Kalani Jordan has just pinned Jordan Grace and has put herself in the tie of a lead with Sol Ruca and Kendall Gray right now. The score for everyone who's taken notes, we have Kalani Jordan at 2, Sol Ruca at 2, Kendall Gray at 2, with Lola Vice and Jordan Grace both at 1, with Jordan Grace now in the penalty box for another minute 10. As we are 21 minutes and 25 seconds into this match.
And this has just been a straight up knockdown brawl between all 5 of these women, and I'm loving it.
So once again, Jordan Grace finds herself in a must-do scenario. She comes out of this penalty box with just under 4 minutes to go. She now has just under 30 seconds left. She is down by 1 fall. So you have to make sure you get those falls if you want to win this match. It's Jordan Grace is now out of the box, and this is going to be a very telling next 2.5 minutes. As Jordan Grace has officially tied it up now, as she has pinfall on Lola Vice, or I'm sorry, on or Kalani Jordan, sorry. And then Lola Vice just got a fall on Kendall Gray. So with just under 2 minutes, we have a 5-way tie here. This match coming down right now to Sol Ruka and Jordan Grace fighting on the apron here. But we also got to remember that Lola Vice is still, she just put a rear naked choke on Sol Ruka. And Kalani Jordan, just over 40 seconds left. Kendall Gray, just over 45 seconds left in the penalty box.
Yeah, and in the background, they were beating the snot out of each other in the box again.
It's why if you're able to bring in like some like Nux or something, I'd use that in the penalty box. Can't get disqualified in there, but you can take somebody out.
Yeah.
As we have less than a minute left. So this is going to be a very impactful minute here. A soul snatcher off the stairs onto Lola Vice on the outside.
Yeah, see, that's what I like about the Soul Snatcher is it's become kind of like the RKO. She can hit it out of nowhere.
Kalani Jordan is out, though. She's going to the top, taking out Sol Ruka. 450 on Lola Vice as she almost got a quick pinfall here. Kendall Gray with a giant flatliner on the top gets the pinfall and the lead as this match has ended. Kendall Gray is your Iron Survivor winner.
What a finish.
So your Evolve Women's Champion is now the #1 contender for the NXT Women's Championship. We just saw 25 minutes of absolutely crazy action. It was almost difficult to stay on top of it, but we saw Kendall Gray, the woman who started this match, use all 25 minutes to secure those 3 pinfalls. Just shows you how that time was an asset. Now I have to say we know Kendall Gray is that #1 contender. What was the big moment, maybe outside of the finish, that you're taking away out of for this match? Like, was it a person? Whether it was a moment, whether it was just a showing?
It was Kendall Gray as a whole. Her performance during this match just I said before she was on the rise of becoming one of my one of my favorite women on the NXT roster. That match just put her over that limit.
Yeah. So on New Year's Evil on Tuesday, January 6th, the first NXT of 2026, we will get JC Jane versus Kendall Gray for the NXT Women's Championship match. So the date is set. Kendall Gray will go up against JC Jane on January 6th. So coming off the heels of Braun Breaker CM Punk a day earlier, we just got a bombshell of two big title matches right there, as we're getting the stare down of both the NXT Women's Champion, even the NXT Speed Champion, and the Evolve Champion.
I already can't wait for New Year's Evil.
Well, can't wait for a lot of things, but what you can do is prepare. That's right. Turnbuckle Affiliation Program has a lot of content, and in order to understand what all we have, you must know. And when you must know, you must prepare. So here and check out our weekly calendar, as I'll give you a video to kind of get all your stuff in order as we prepare for the third match of the night.
Turnbuckle Studios and the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program bring you the week of streams. Monday nights you get the Locker Room Breakdown at 7 p.m. Eastern, followed by the Raw Patrol at 8 p.m. Eastern. Tuesday brings you the flagship show, Turnbuckle Talk, at 8:05 p.m. Eastern. Wednesday we play games with the PlayStation Showcase at 8 p.m. Eastern. Thursday we go TNA when we brace for Impact at 7:55 p.m. Eastern. Friday we secure all details as we answer the call for the SmackDown security detail at 8 p.m. Eastern. The weekend brings you Saturday Night Gaming at 8 p.m. Eastern. On Sundays be sure to catch the Chris Parrish podcast at 12:15 p.m. Eastern, followed by the Boar's Nest at 8 p.m. Eastern. Be part of the shows and join the chat every day.
I hope everybody is set back up as we are back with the action, as we are finding just out another Evolve wrestler on our screens right now. Best, I'm going to put it to you. What do you know about this man, and what do you think?
I think I'm not familiar with him. I do need to watch Evolve, as I just found out when it airs for us. But him, based on what I'm seeing here, he's trying to compare himself to some of the greatest tag team wrestlers, and that I don't know if that's what you need to be doing.
No, all I'm going to say, it is definitely a little different though. As we are getting that Evolve kind of segment and kind of an ad, not so much an ad, but a preview of what to expect if you want to watch Evolve. Now it is live on Tubi for everyone who needs to know. We just saw the women's champion become Iron Survivor and get that opportunity. Also on YouTube internationally every Wednesday, 5 p.m. 8 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah.
So that is how you watch Evolve. But something to kind of take note, and this is something I do love about NXT, and they kind of taken a page out of TNA and Impact Wrestling from years past, and that is with your women, you tend to always be one step ahead of the curve, and you don't necessarily need to be the curve. I always like that because it's always seeming now NXT tries to find the next person before the fans know who that next person is. We've
Yeah.
seen it multiple times now. When we're talking about the Solvarukas and the Jordan Graces, they're just putting, the Lola Vices and the Kalani Jordans on the map as well. But
Yeah.
then you get a Kendall Gray who's just coming out of the gates, absolutely on fire. Maybe somebody who you don't see all the time on NXT every week. You haven't for the better part of this year, very recent, but came out and absolutely stole that match at the very last second, because in years past, it doesn't matter when you get it as long as you get it, and made just a huge name for herself as we now have Ava with Blake Monroe. And then Ava's letting Blake Monroe know the only reason why she's the champion is because Zarya threw in the towel. Blake Monroe says she is more beloved than Sami Zayn, as she was offering to hold an open challenge for her North American Championship. I'll take that for what you will. Blake Monroe is just a glamorous, fresh breath of air. But we have Sarah Schreiber about to talk to Miles Bourne, who's getting ready to compete in the men's Iron Survivor match, looking to do exactly what Kendall Gray just did, and that's pull out the big fat W.
Yeah, as I said, going into this match, I feel like he's the underdog in this matchup. But it wouldn't surprise me if he were to pull away with the win. But I do still think that the obvious choice is Joe Hendry. And I'm not saying that like to be biased because I'm a fan of his, but
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
maybe I'm being slightly biased, but
See, people, we get the truth here.
Jordan Grace and Kendall Jordan are done fighting.
Kalani Jordan.
Yeah,
I
sorry.
know. There's just a lot of names.
There is.
It's when it comes to the women's names, it's very easy to stumble on. But the one person that we don't see stumble is the man that we call Mr. Iguana, as he is making his way out for his North American title match against one all ego Ethan Page.
Yeah, as much as I love Mr. Iguana, I think Ethan Page is taking the win in this one.
Oh, for sure. But this is where I kind of have to say, if we want to see something totally shock every single one, this is the match to do it. Because
Yeah.
as you kind of said, you do not look at Mr. Iguana as the favorite here. In fact, if you were to have betting odds, I'm sure Mr. Iguana is a plus a lot of numbers to win this match, which is not good if you're a betting person. Huge underdog. But one, I think it's not just, okay, let's look at this as a throwaway match. I think there's something to come out of this match with, whether it's a direct understanding of maybe who Ethan Page has his next match with, or maybe
Mhm.
we see something developing with Mr. Iguana moving forward, because as we all know, Ethan Page is one half of the AAA mixed tag team champions. So there is that connection with Mr. Iguana just
Yes,
from
because
that championship we see in blue. That I'm gonna say, what if Ethan Page decides to put a Canadian strap on that AAA title?
well, I was just going to point out that the history between these two men stems from Chelsea Green and Ethan Page taking the mixed tag titles off of Mr. Iguana and Lola Vice.
Yeah. And if we want to talk about somebody that is destined to be on the main roster in the future, I think we can look no further than the men holding 2 championships in Ethan Page. As just, over a year spent in NXT so far in WWE, he's already showcased just how valuable and how successful he's been, as he is a former NXT champion, the current NXT North American champion, and now a AAA mixed tag team champion. And we have to think that's in less than 18 months.
I could see Ethan Page getting that call up post WrestleMania. But I have to wonder if let's just say that relationship with Chelsea Green continues past WrestleMania, does he come up and is maybe a part of Chelsea Green's group in some sort of a co-leader kind of thing?
Yeah, right now they definitely seem paired already.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not they take that act on the main roster, I don't know. What I do like is right now we do see as the shenanigans are already in play here, as Mr. Iguana is refusing to get off his back. Now, if I was Ethan Page, I would just walk out of the ring.
Yeah.
Can't lose the title on a count out. But it kind of makes me wonder if we are going to see a Mr. Iguana match at Saturday night's main event. Why not put him and R-Truth in a tag team?
I would love that. Absolutely love that.
I would say this: Mr. Iguana, R-Truth versus New Day. Just let it sink
Yeah.
in.
Yeah. With this whole NXT and TNA partnership, there's a part of me that wants to see Santino and Mr. Iguana do something.
Okay, just the sticking out of the tongue has got me. Now, don't get me wrong, I have all the time in the world for the entertainment aspect of Mr. Iguana, but at some point, Ethan Page, there we go, needs to just punch him in the face.
Yeah, that's the thing I think about too. Is with guys like Mr. Iguana, is we know that they're comedy characters through and through, but at what point do we see it? Do we see somebody like a Mr. Iguana take these matches as seriously as they should?
Well, it's hard to say that he doesn't take it serious when he has the results that he does have. He does win a good amount of time. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes throwing your opponent off the game is as good of an offense as a punch to the mouth does.
Oh yeah, it's 100% mind games that he does. And to be fair, that's how when Santino was a full-time wrestler, that's how he got his wins.
And you can't really fault a result when it's in your favor.
Yeah.
It's just like any other sport. Like if it's football, oh, you have 15 touchdowns, great. Or are they all from the 1 yard line? Nobody cares. They just talk about that 15 touchdowns. Did he
Yeah.
get 50 goals this year? Cool. Nobody cares if they're 45 of them were an empty net. only the nerds will talk about it. Don't worry, people. It's okay to be nerds. If we didn't have nerds, we wouldn't have the opportunity to really know the details. It's okay to be a nerd. 'Cause we're nerds. We're wrestling nerds.
100%.
Hey, I love nerds so much that they're one of my favorite candies. That make me go see the dentist because of how much sugar they have them. So don't feed them to kids.
Yeah, feed them to perish.
Well, not too much though. Sensitive teeth now. I'm old. Bobby, I am too. Mr. Iguana is impressive. But that's also the thing. I think that's kind of his game, is to kind of not make you think of how talented he is in the ring,
Mm-hmm.
and just to throw you off with the mind games that he does play. But I mean, for all intended purposes, though, this is why I think Mr. Iguana is a very suitable person for an NXT, and maybe not the best case main roster addition, especially with the direction that WWE definitely likes to go with on their shows. There's a lot of seriousness, a lot of reality based there. While Mr. Iguana does put a lot of more entertainment first. I say that because as much as we love our truth and wanted him to be brought back, there's not a lot of places on the show right now where we could say that version of our truth fits. As Ethan Page just got a huge power slam off the top rope there. Yeah, it was more of a springboard power slam, but effective nonetheless. And now he is on full attack mode.
He is just seething with frustration right now.
As Ethan Page has now gotten a hold of the Iguana.
And throws it halfway down the aisle.
After he spat on it. And that has enraged Mr. Iguana. So we know where the threshold is with Mr. Iguana. You want him to go pure serious? You want him to go full aggressive? You mess with his Iguana. The one thing I do want to see is I want to see some interactions between Mr. Iguana and Chelsea Green. Or even one step further. Imagine, for all intended purposes, we see Blake Monroe go to put on her makeup, and then all of a sudden we see just a thing of green makeup come in, and Mr. Iguana is right there.
I'd love that.
Yeah. WWE, I got ideas. Hire me. As Ethan Page went for Ego's Edge, it was reversed into a Hurricane Rana by Mr. Iguana.
Jesus. That's the thing. This is why I love watching Mr. Iguana, is because, yeah, he is a comedy character, but you cannot discount his abilities in the ring.
Ethan Page is almost starting to be covered in green paint from the face of Mr. Iguana. You have to think too, because you don't see it very much paint off the face of Mr. Iguana, but you see a lot on Ethan Page right now. Makes me wonder how much of that face paint Mr. Iguana actually puts on.
I got to assume it's several layers.
Yeah. And a twist of fate there by Ethan Page. And that will do it, as Ethan Page has defeated Mr. Iguana and retains his North American Championship in a match that was filled with both entertainment and professional wrestling. So when it was time to take it serious, it was all ego, getting the 1, 2, 3, but a great showing for Mr. Iguana. But as we talked about earlier, the question is, what is next for Ethan Page and that North American Championship? As he is saying, I'm the best in the world. Now, I will peg this. Do we see Ethan Page versus CM Punk at Saturday night's main event?
I like that.
Bobby saying, take my money.
I gotta wonder what kind of if there is going to be a tag match at Saturday night's main event, who would it be?
Why not Dark State versus Judgment Day?
Let's do it. I mean, they're both essentially the same gimmick.
To an extent, yeah. And the only reason why I do Judgment Day is, as of right now, Judgment Day isn't truly in a feud with anybody. We're on SmackDown. We are kind of locked in on the MFTs and the Wyatt Six. So I wouldn't necessarily go that route. But as we are getting a showcasing of WWE 2K25. So as the downloadable feature says, the 41 John Cena, Dr. Thugonomics 03, Brock Lesnar, Ron Cena, and more. As I have to say, and more, because I didn't have enough time to read the whole thing. But that now takes us to the holiday season advertisement of WWE, as they're going to talk about going to their website, their shop, and search all that stuff. I'm sure. Yes, I'm sure Jey Uso is texting Rikishi saying the crowd was fire. If he is, that would be actually quite funny. But yeah. Do want to let everybody know that John Cena's last match is a week away. It's up against a Ring General Gunther. We know that will have many matches already. Another one that we do know of is Bayley taking on Sol Ruka. We know it's WWE versus NXT next week, and you can catch that live here on the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program and all the Turnbuckle Studios platforms. So you might want to check that out, the PLE Patrol. Crazy to think in 7 days, John Cena will compete for the very last time. And yes, Cody Rhodes versus Obafemi has been announced, as well as Obafemi in our opening match defeated Ricky Saints and became the new NXT champion, and also punched his ticket to face the undisputed champion Cody Rhodes at Saturday night's main event. Now, I'm going to not talk about Hall of Fame, because I know there's going to be a lot of people that say, hey, put him in the Hall of Fame in 2026, as they do just about every time something like this happens and somebody is retired. And that, I'm sure we're going to talk about that with AJ Styles for 2027. But if you're going to use John Cena in a non-wrestling capacity in 2026, what does that include? What would you do?
I think it would just have him in an ambassador role, have him when he's not out making movies or making TV shows, have him just promote the product in if they're going to a new country they've never been to, perhaps you send John Cena to help promote the product.
Okay.
Because I feel like, yeah, we are going to see the last of John Cena in a WWE ring, but I don't think it's the last time we see John Cena on WWE TV.
No. I'm already gonna say, like, the one thing I just don't want him to do is become a general manager or do anything like that. I don't want
Right.
that to replace a Nick Aldis or an Adam Pearce. Although I would love to see Nick Aldis compete in a WWE ring, and maybe John Cena goes, "Hey, for one night, for this one moment, maybe you step in the ring, I'll step into your suit. We can
Mhm.
trade places for that." I'd be okay with a one-time thing like that, but
Yeah.
because as we all know, John Cena has gone on record and saying one of the reasons why he knows it's time for him to take that step out is, on top of his body telling him when, that he knows that it's his time to allow opportunities for others. Now,
Yeah.
usually that is for the younger talent. That is why he made sure that Saturday night's main event next Saturday does have the NXT involvement. But what if, again, for one night, that is for somebody who's a little bit more seasoned, like a Nick Aldis, and he does a similar thing because situationally, he's still doing what he set out to do. He's
Mhm.
removing himself to allow opportunities for others.
Right.
Just a thought, but I wouldn't hate it because I know at some point, maybe just maybe with all this Miz and Nick Aldis's face, maybe that could lead to a Miz and Maurice versus Nikki Aldis and Mickey James.
I just want to see Aldis get back in the ring. And I've actually wanted to see that since we talked about the idea of Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis having a match.
So Ruka coming in and interrupting Kendall Gray's interview backstage, but giving her respect. But could this lead to a tag team match with Sol, Ruka, and Zarya versus Ren and Kendall Gray?
If that is the case, is that where we see Zarya finally make the turn?
Very well. I'll also say, what if she does it next week when Sol Ruka takes on Bailey, or it leads to Bailey and Lyra versus Sol Ruka and Zarya as well.
See, that's the other thing I like about this whole NXT versus WWE thing. It's going to drive more eyes to NXT because, well, there are still people who will just watch the main roster and not bother with NXT.
As Obafemi, now the new NXT champion, has some words for Dion Lennox, as Dion Lennox is looking to add to the collection of championships in Dark State, who already are the NXT Tag Team Champions. As we are looking for the grudge match that is Tatum Paxley versus Izzy Dane. That's right. Izzy Dane turned on Tatum Paxley just a couple weeks ago, costing Tatum Paxley the NXT Women's Championship and her spot in the calling.
This is the turn. I still don't get the turn. I mean, if you want to turn on somebody that's a champion, why would you cost them the championship? That's always been my thought on that.
I think it's to say that this is more of a personal thing and not than anything else. Because Tatum Paxley has gone on record saying that she now feels like she's part of a family, that she has a best friend with Izzy Dane in the calling. Sometimes maybe some things take precedent over championships, and maybe taking away friendship and a spot in a family is just that. So that'd be the one thing I could take away from this, is that Izzy Dane knows exactly how to emotionally break Tatum, or maybe she thinks she knows how to emotionally break Tatum. And that isn't the NXT championship. That is her heart.
Yeah. I don't know, because I always thought that the lead to the breakup was more or less going to be because Izzy Dame wants a shot at the title.
You also have to wonder if by chance putting the title on Tatum Paxley was just a last minute decision, and maybe it wasn't the original long-term plan at all, but it's one of those strike when the iron's hot kind of a deal.
Mhm.
So if that's the case, and they didn't go away from the plan between Izzy Dane and Tatum Paxley, it checks out.
Yeah.
Because the one thing you can say, as we see the Gold Rush video right here, where Tatum Paxley did lose the championship, she also refused interference from Izzy Dane and the calling. She refused to do things their way. So as much as she was looking for that acceptance from other people, she also didn't conform, which, if you're the calling, you have to look at that as something that, hey, everybody must conform when they become a part of us.
Mm-hmm.
So something I like to do is put myself in the shoes of everybody involved. I can understand the calling wanting to separate. I can understand Izzy Dane wanting to separate because Tatum Paxley is coming into your family necessarily and taking everything that you want away, and then not respecting what it is to be a part of your family. That's something that you would take offense by. But when you're Tatum Paxley, you're looking at acceptance. And then when you finally did, it comes with a price. And you find out that you don't want to pay that price. You want to be accepted on who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I understand this whole thing, because it's really a battle. It's almost like a self-image battle in a weird way. As now Izzy Dane is making her way out for this match. Beautiful Vespa from Sean Spears, by the way.
Yeah.
I strongly believe that 2026 might just be the year for Izzy Dane.
I tend to agree this whole, because if I'm going to be completely honest, before this whole thing with Tatum Paxley, I had only like heard hints of Izzy Dame, didn't really get to see much of her. But this whole thing with Tatum Paxley has just brought her to the forefront.
Yeah. Bobby, sorry, I'm not going to showcase a lot of things, but thank you so much for this. I appreciate that. Sorry to cut you off there. But yeah, talking about Izzy Dane right now, it's just putting consistency on her last few months and the performances that she has slowly made leaps and jumps, and she's going step upon step upon step. We saw the aggressiveness when she turned on Tatum Paxley, and that was just crazy to me, because you can do that and it'll still get to the same point, but with that intensity and that aggressiveness she does, it showcases the emotion and the feeling behind it just that much more. And you can believe in this story. This is one of the best NXT stories that's going on right now. And it's why I don't want to rush it. This match was a very long time in the making, probably 6-7 months. And because of that, I want to see how this goes and expands. I think that the final match between these two should be stand and deliver. And I do think they have enough in there to do it, especially if you add people on Tatum Paxley's side, whoever that could be. We don't know. We may not know tonight, because I do think Izzy Dane should get the win here. And I do think the calling should be the reason why.
And I think that's where I'm gonna go too. Um, and to me, the most likely candidate to join forces with Tatum Paxley is Lyra Valkyria.
But if you're looking at the dynamic of the calling, you're not. I don't think you add another woman right
Yeah,
now.
you need males, I would
Exactly,
think.
and that's why I think it's a little different because you can do that 6-person mixed tag match, and I think that is one where it definitely makes sense. I honestly think that the Hank and Tank vignette was there for a reason.
I was just gonna point that out. That I think that they would be the best to team up with Tatum.
If you're not doing anything that has a visual similarity with Tatum Paxley, and I'm talking about more of that gothic Amy Lee Evanescence type look. That's
Mhm.
right. Shout out to Amy Lee and Evanescence. um, then I think you look at the whole acceptance route, and that Tatum Paxley has fought for just being accepted her entire time in NXT.
Mhm.
In a weird way, she just wants people to appreciate who she is. Very similar to a Hank and Tank who have done the same way, and they realize coming together was the best way to showcase the world who they really are.
Yeah, and when it comes to Hank and Tank, they come across as a team to me that accepts anybody, anyways.
They accept everyone, but they embrace the ones who mean more.
Hmm.
And I think that's the thing. It's they they showcase their circle, but they definitely have a very close one too. So um it'd be very
I've even,
intriguing, and then we can also put the calling in line for tag team title contention as well, and it brings everyone back into an in-ring role.
I've even thought of the idea of Chase U being in that situation too, but I'm really not certain what's going on with them right now.
I think for me, I think you got to be very specific on who to add because you want to make
Hmm.
sure that they bring in the same emotion that the story already has.
Yeah,
I don't think Chase U is that team. I really don't. I think Chase U is more of a humorous role. In fact, I would like to see Mr. Iguana and roll into Chase U. I think that would make a lot more sense. Yeah.
I yeah.
Um,
I think it was
but right,
basing the Chase U thing off of like them taking in like a woman like Thea Hale, you know.
yeah. Um, right now, though, as we focus back into this match, Izzy Dane is on the aggressive side of this match, and she is toying with the emotions of Tatum Paxley, but she is also physically dominating Tatum Paxley right now, as we see Tatum Paxley almost kind of in that broken doll like role. It's like she's almost embracing the pain with smiles on her face every time she's taking physical abuse. Um,
She's a modern day Daphne.
to
That's
an
kind of the
extent,
vibe that's the kind of vibe I get from watching Tatum.
I mean, if we really, okay, I'm going to say this. If we really want to give a true what NXT versus WWE vibe could be, let's do this. Let's have the calling with the two men, Izzy Dane, go up against Tatum Paxley and your WWE Tag Team Champions in Joe Gacy and Dexter Loomis.
Oh, I like those three together.
Mm-hmm. We talked a lot about what it would be like if Alexa Bliss went back to the Wyatts. I'll go one
Ta-
better. What if
Tatum would
Tatum Paxley is that person instead?
Tatum fits in more than Alexa does these days. Because yeah, Alexa still has she still comes out with the Lily doll, which is still a reminder of her relationship to Bray, and she still has Bray like somewhere on her gear. But it feels like she's kind of shed the whole Wyatt Six side of it out of her at the same time.
whereas we see kind of the dull form with Tatum Paxley as well. And we talk about people who just want to be accepted. Well, that's kind of the mantra of the Why It's Six, right?
Right.
But yeah, Bobby puts out a point. I'm interested to see who wins this match. As I said, I do have Izzy Dane, I think, winning this match, as I think it does more for Izzy Dane and the story with her winning, especially in a way of using the number advantage. Now, I'm not saying interference per se. I'm just saying situationally, the mind games of 3 are too much for Tatum Paxley to hold. That is why I would love to see something come after this match, whether it's tonight or even Tuesday on NXT,
And I
and
think
we
I'm
kind of get an evolution of the story.
and I'm glad you mentioned Tuesday with NXT because it's already been advertised that Hank and Tank are going to be on NXT on Tuesday. And the more I'm thinking about it, the more I think it's a more better fit for them to be up against the culling.
Yeah, and again, I wouldn't even be surprised if they go the Dark State route and the tag team titles are a form of emphasis there. Bobby coming in saying Izzy Dane win, and I'd like to see her have eyes on Blake Monroe's title. Yeah, I can definitely see a future match there. As right now we have Izzy Dane putting on a good old fashioned lion tamer on Tatum Paxley. That's right, the Boston Crab with the knee placed on the back of the head there as Tatum Paxley's fighting out into a small package. Definitely like the flow of this match. It's definitely going very methodical, very more structured than most matches that we've seen tonight. Especially, I don't think there's much structure with Iron Survivor matches to begin with, but
No.
uh,
What I like is the slow build to this inner rage that Tatum Paxley is more than likely going to showcase at some point in this match.
as even the announcers are using the word acceptance
Mhm.
here.
There's a part of me that believes, though, that if Tatum Paxley does pull off the win here, that's got to be the end of the feud then.
Perhaps. Like I said, I think this is one of the better stories that we have in NXT.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I don't know. I think honestly, I do think Tatum Paxley just flat out being accepted, whether it's by the audience or whether it's from other people. I think that is what the finality here should be.
Yeah. I thought Izzy was going to take it there.
I am so stuck because there is somebody in the front row that I remember, somebody who's a friend from the Twitch land, that I am trying to put a face or a name to the face right now.
Tatum Paxley just willing to put her body on the line to make sure Izzy Dame gets destroyed.
Oh yeah. Now Tatum taking all the toppings of that announce table.
Yeah, and as it stands right now, it seems like there's nothing Nico Vance or Sean Spears can't do.
And I've really liked the fact that they have separated they've done a good job of making sure that they don't get physically involved, but making sure that they get physically involved
Mm-hmm.
and keeping that line between the two.
I knew Sean Spears was going to get involved somehow.
As he has the dolls of Tatum Paxley. As the dolls represent Tatum Paxley and Izzy Dane. As we have the difference between just the two there. One looks more of a gothic and happier version. Oh, as Sean Spears rips the head out of the doll that represents Tatum Paxley. And that was enough.
Yeah, that was
Tatum Paxley.
I love that finish.
Also, WWE, thank you for doing that right at the time where I was talking about how awesome you're doing of a job of keeping the physicality from the men off women, but also showing you how they can be involved with just mind games. Thank you for making me look smart there. I appreciate it.
And I like that whole build to Sean Spears doing it because it made it look like we were going to see Tatum Paxley take the head off of Izzy Dame. With the way that they were teasing her, like looking at the dolls and everything like that.
But it's also very fitting because obviously the leader of the calling is Sean Spears. So for him to lead the charge there just makes all the sense in the world. But you have to wonder now, how does Tatum Paxley get her revenge? In what capacity does she do that?
I'm beginning to think maybe this is where you go to the Hank and Tank for that kind of help.
Well, I'm not going to necessarily go to Hank and Tank per se. I'm just giving out hey, it makes sense. But now we're back in the locker room of Ricky Saints as he's talking to Javon Evans. Ricky, I'm going to have to say this. You put this on yourself when you wore Carolina Panthers colors, man. Just saying. Something that looks amazing like a black and gold championship does not want to be associated with that blue and black, man. Although there's nothing wrong with blue and black, as you visually can see right now. I'm going to do one thing that, we all need to know. And that is, once again, if you want to ever be a part of the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program, do what I think Tatum Paxley needs to do. Call for backup. Call for assistance. Better yet, call for help. That's right. Go to turnbucklestudios.org/join if you want to be a part of Turnbuckle Affiliation Program. Don't want to always hear this from me? Fine. That's why we made a video ad.
A Turnbuckle Affiliation program is looking for more people. If you have passion level for pro wrestling, sports, videos games, or something else, then Turnbuckle Studios is the place to be. If you have ever wanted to pursue content creation and want to join our team, then we would love to have you. Check out turnbucklestudios.org or contact us by email today because your future is now, and we want you to tap in.
That's right, everyone. If you want to go to turnbucklestudios.org/join, that is your best way to go and offer your assistance to the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program. We want to expand, we want to grow, and we can't do that without altering ourselves. And by doing that, we must go full Bray Wyatt and let you in. So if you want to knock on the door, we'll open it up and we'll show you around. But we want you to pick your room because we want you to help us. We want to grow. So come join Turnbuckle Studios and the Turnbuckle and be a part of the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program by simply going to turnbucklestudios.org/join. As we now get a little bit of insight knowledge to Dion Lennox, one member of Dark State. I think Dion Lennox is on the ups in NXT. Definitely handpicked by John. He's going to be a part of this match. He's had some breakout moments, I believe. He definitely reminds me of Jason Jordan in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But the one difference that I do see that he has that maybe Jason Jordan doesn't is a little bit more charisma. And because of that, I think Jordan might actually be such a great person to be in like the corner of a Dion Lennox if Dion Lennox is to ever break away from Dark State. If you want to bring that back, that manager role, I think Jason Jordan would be perfect for Dion Lennox.
I 100% see that just by looking at Dion Lennox right now, because he does remind me of, and I'm not sure if you want to go to that gimmick with him, but he kind of reminds me of that collegiate wrestler type look.
I'm glad you didn't say Kurt Angle's other son, because I'm glad we didn't go there. Bobby, thank you for saying we're doing an amazing job. I appreciate that. And he said he's been paying attention to Dion Lennox since he's been in Dark State. And that to me was always something that I've been wondering about when Dark State even just showcase. Obviously, you want to see how they make their statement, how they make their introduction to NXT. And they did that by taking out anybody and everyone. They do that by going to TNA and doing the same thing. It's now their MO. But then you want to take that next step and be like, okay, who are the members? And what do they want for themselves as much as they want for each other? We know that Dark State are now the tag team champions, and they've been multiple time NXT tag team champions. They won those NXT tag titles just recently by beating the Hardys. But the questions remain. Who's going to step out and be the first breakout single star of Dark State, as that always is something that we see in groups? Dion Lennox could very well be that guy. In order to do that, we must see these opportunities.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. Although I'm not afraid, I won't be afraid to admit that when the Dark State made their debut, I was so afraid that it was going to end up just like Retribution did. I'm glad I was wrong on that.
I will stay on this, and I will fight this fight. I think if it wasn't in a pandemic world, Retribution would still be around today.
I kind of agree with you because I'm not going to lie. When Retribution did make their debut, when they were doing all those mysterious vignettes, I was intrigued.
Now, I do not have a graphic here, but I do want to let everybody know what's on tap tomorrow on the Chris Parrish podcast. I did let everybody know that I have an announcement. And yes, I'm going to share that with you now. Now, we all know that tomorrow's episode is episode 106, Iron Cuts Iron. But what you don't know is that I am not going to be alone for that. No. As we saw in Turnbuckle Talk this past Tuesday, we saw RBV join the show. He has been invited to join me tomorrow as we're going to talk not only about John Cena and the final match next week, we're not only going to talk about NXT Deadline, but we're also going to talk about a variety of different things. One thing I do want to talk about is that phrase, iron cuts iron. Who in this last few weeks have made each other better just by in-ring competition? You want to find out? Tune in tomorrow on the Chris Parrish podcast as we now have another intriguing vignette by Shiloh Hill.
There's one thing I really like about these vignettes is that he's so bright and bubbly, but the way that they're shooting this is all dark and grainy. Like there's there's going to be a dark side to this character.
It's almost like all the deranged things that he does talk about are completely normal to him, as he has the mixture of what everybody else thinks is normal, and then he has a completely different spin on things.
Right.
And it kind of makes you wonder if Shiloh Hill was maybe a little bit more on the positive acceptance side of the fans, would he be somebody that would make sense in the Tatum Paxley storyline?
I like that too. Because
I mean, we got to put all the deranged and weird together, right?
Yeah. Because what I'm getting out of this is I wanted to compare to Bray Wyatt, but it's more of a modern day Waylon Mercy, because Waylon Mercy was kind of that way too. When Waylon Mercy would cut his promos, he was all bright and bubbly, but then dark and sinister at the same time.
Which was definitely part of the inspiration for the Bray Wyatt character. And I'm going to go very much similar and go. Do you remember when we had Bray Wyatt in the Firefly Funhouse?
Yes.
This is almost, to me, a similar thing, but you're going into the computer form of it. This is almost more of a I want to stream kind of a deal. Instead of being that Mr. Rogers, I want to be more of a content creator or a streamer type thing. That's why I'm always by my computer. As right now, we are getting the graphic of Shiloh Hill debuts on Tuesday of NXT. That's right. Shiloh Hill was the winner of LFG Season 2. He is going to debut this coming Tuesday. So check that out, but not at the expense of anything else. As we're also going to get Jordan Grace versus Kalani Jordan. We talk about grudge matches. This is definitely one of those, as tensions build up between these two for weeks now. So not only do we have that, also that open challenge for the Women's North American Championship starring Blake Monroe. And you have to wonder, whoever opens this challenge, do you think we get potentially somebody challenging Blake Monroe to a match at Saturday night's main event?
I think so, and it would obviously have to be somebody from the main roster. But I wonder with this Blake Monroe thing, do you remember what I had said about Tommaso Ciampa and the United States title, that if he were to do that, he can poop his way out. I don't know if I can swear here, but um, he would walk away from the title defense, or he would take on a jobber or something like that in the open challenge. I feel like that's what we could get with Blake Monroe doing this too.
I have a feeling somebody like a Ren Sinclair would make a lot of sense for this, just to kind of be that person that, challenges, maybe doesn't come up, kind of like the Mr. Guana to an Ethan Page.
You're right.
And yeah, sure, I can see something like that as well. But I can also understand maybe if we're getting something larger after the match, whether it's maybe we do get like a Solruka or a Zarya. Bobby Stats is coming in saying Thea Hill very well. So it all depends if there's something after match that needs to be done, or if this is something that's going to become a weekly thing, which if it is, I wonder if maybe we're just at that point now where the US Open Challenge might be coming to an end and it might start becoming more of an NXT thing.
Or
now,
could we
that...
see...
So go ahead.
I was going to say, or could we see Blake Monroe kind of do it similar to when the Iconics did it? Because the Iconics would be like, oh, we're going to take on the most powerful tag team in the world, and they would introduce somebody that we don't really well know. Chris Statlander was actually one of those wrestlers at one time.
We are getting the advertisement of all the rules for the Iron Survivor match, which just goes to show that we are just moments away from the men's Iron Survivor match, which is going to be your main event of the night. As we are about to find out who is the first entry in this match, I'm going to go with Leon Slater. I think it could be Leon Slater and Javon Evans for the first 5 minutes.
I could see that, but I was thinking of the pop too, and I think Joe Hendry could very well be that guy too, but I think Hendry gets the pop regardless of what number he comes out at.
As Leon Slater is making his way out. Did I tell you that I've watched a lot of this program? But we'll find out who he goes up against. It's going to be just weird because obviously I can see exactly why you would put a Dion Lennox in this scenario and have him run the gauntlet, so to speak. It would be a really good breakout performance for him. But you only have one heel in this match. And for that sole point, I wonder what you would do with that, because you can go a completely different amount of ways. But
right,
the one thing we know we didn't get in this with Leon Slater and Javon Evans was a clear cut who's better, as that match was interrupted by Dark State. So the way I would do it, start with Leon and Javon, only for a member of Dark State to be that third person when we find out if there's going to be a winner between the two. And it's like almost that slight flashback.
I kind of like that. And it keeps that tease too, because eventually Javon Evans and Leon Slater still have to have that match, right?
Yeah, exactly. And let's be honest, a couple 21-year-olds going out there and getting the opportunity of a lifetime. They're going to go for 25 minutes here. And I'm not going to lie, I would go these two, Dion Lennox, you put them right in the middle there. Then you go to that Joe Hendry pop that you've been wanting, because and then you have Miles Bourne on that fifth spot, somebody that could be that dark horse. He got the best spot in the match. Technically, he's the freshest person 20 minutes in.
Yeah.
But really, you could flip flop 4 and 5 because obviously at 5 you know who's coming out next. But I do like the pop for Joe Hendry when you just don't know yet.
Yeah.
Now, for two men that are very fast paced, as we get that right away, they did take almost 20 seconds just to get going. So respect is right there between these two men.
We talked about wrestlers who could have a breakout year in 2026. I think Javon Evans could very well be one of those guys too. I could easily see him holding the world title or the TNA or the NXT title at some point
I mean,
in the year.
I would say he had a breakout 2025 year, if I'm being honest. He's wrestled a lot of people, whether it's he's gone to TNA and wrestled Leon Slater for the X Division Championship, whether it's
Yeah.
Randy Orton on NXT. Gunther, as he was part of the last time is now tournament, the only NXT representation from that tournament.
Or even the match with Sami Zayn for the US
Yeah,
title.
exactly. So we have seen a lot of Javon Evans in just 2025 alone.
Mhm.
So I'm going to say that if he is having what you consider a breakout in 2026, it's going to be a breakout because he had one hell of a showing in 2025.
Yeah. And it's just interesting to me that I'm thinking as we're watching Javon Evans right now. I actually remember my first time watching Javon Evans, and it was back when he was wrestling in NXT Level Up, and I was actually in the room talking with you. And I'm like, oh, NXT Level Up is coming up, and this guy named Javon Evans is wrestling, and he just enthralled me at in that match. I don't even remember who it was he took on.
Bash and Booger.
Oh, probably.
Sorry, I try to think of the most random person I could think of at that point. Now, we talked about who we think can win, who would want to win, who our dark horses can win. I'm going to go kind of the complete opposite. Who do we think has the least amount of points after this match is all said and done? And I'm actually going to pick Javon Evans.
I'm going to agree with you because I think I kind of want to see a star being made out of Leon Slater in this match as well.
We talked about Kendall Gray being the only champion going into the Women's Iron Survivor match.
Mm-hmm.
Leon Slater is the only champion going into the men's, as he is the current X Division champion. Now, do I think we're going to see Leon or Javon pin each other? No. But I do think Slater is going to have at least one more point than Javon Evans.
Mm-hmm.
And he can use that as kind of friendly banter. Because then we could say Javon Evans says, the guy, you might have pinned more people than me, but you didn't pin me. So the way I look at it, you still have to pin me to say you're better than me. And that could be the fuel to how they go about that rematch.
Yeah, because I could see it for this next minute here that these two just trade blows and pins like they are right now, only for Dion Lennox to come out, and then they're going to stop and want to double team him.
Mm-hmm. And that could be Darkseid maybe coming in and making some noise, because we know that these two have been feuding with Darkseid just over the last few weeks.
Yeah.
as action is now picking up between these two, and it's really getting down to that nitty gritty. Oh,
Well, Javon Evans got the pin.
wow. I mean,
I thought he kicked out. I thought Leon
didn't
Slater
a
kicked out.
quick little pinfall there for Javon Evans. Not only does he now get to go one-on-one with
Oh, Miles
Dion Lennox,
Bourne.
or Miles Bourne, yeah. As this is going to be a very intriguing next minute, but yeah, he has one over on Leon Slater, so still has that edge of like, hey, I beat you when it was one-on-one. I beat you at Iron Survivor. I can do it again for that title.
And see, that's what I like about these multi-man matches too, is the amount of stories that you can tell and the amount of stories that you can form coming out of these matches.
Now, as much as I like the 25 minutes, I wouldn't be upset if they expanded on the time. You
Would you go
have
to
five people in this match.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see why you couldn't go 10 minutes or 3 minutes in the box, or add more time to that and add this maybe to, at the very least, 35 minutes. Now, I understand 25 is an odd number in the wrestling world when it comes to time limits, as Leon Slater is back in the ring and almost felt like that minute and a half flew.
Yeah.
I mean, not the way Leon Slater flies, but definitely still quite as impressive. But that's what I feel like we're going to see in this match with 4 baby faces and 1 heel. It's going to be like move, pace. Everything's going to go very quick, especially when I have people like Javon Evans and Leon Slater, who, as much as they like to fight with each other, they like to fight each other as well. And that allows the opening, as we just saw Miles Bourne, who takes to the air to some of the most high-flying men in wrestling today.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, we got Leon Slater and Javon Evans just trading aerial maneuver for aerial maneuver. Can't count out Miles Bourne and his aerial tactics as well.
Well, he might be Miles Airborne when it's all said and done, but I'm going to say this, the one thing that we notice is the more Javon Evans and Leon Slater want to fight each other, that just allows an opportunity for whoever else is in that match to counter and to get that advantage on an attack, just like we saw Miles Bourne do there. And because of that, if this match goes later into the minutes, a quick fall here and there are going to be easier to get for whether it's Miles Bourne, Dion Lennox, Joe Hendry, and that's going to really add up. As we saw in the women's match, you could not be, you had to make sure that your balls count. You could not stand to be vulnerable for very long. I feel that is just as equivalent in this match, and I think that is something that every man in this match has to be well aware of.
Especially right now with Evans in the lead.
Bobby coming in saying, I'm happy to see TNA wrestlers in this match. Yes, as we talked about Javon Evans being the only NXT participant in the last time is now tournament. Leon Slater is the only NXT representation in this, or the TNA representation, sorry, in this match. As yes, if people were living under a Dwayne Johnson, Joe Hendry is officially signed to WWE now.
Yep. And that was actually confirmed the other day by Carlos Silva himself.
Yes. But the only question is we don't know when necessarily it was signed, if maybe the reports were accurate or maybe it was just saying, oh yeah, we've found out at this point now. But nonetheless, Joe Hendry is WWE. The one thing we definitely know too is this might be the fastest 10 minutes we've seen in wrestling.
Right?
And we are just moments away from finding out who drew number 4. I would have to assume this is Dion Lennox. Unless we're going with Joe Hendry now, and we're going to see all of Dark State come out with Dion Lennox.
We'll have to wait and see. Oh, it's Dark State now. Save the pop for last, I guess.
As we see Dark State with those black and gold tag team championships, Dion Lennox has entered this match as he is coming in with speed and power. Now, what we see in the ring right now is we could see this as a potential WrestleMania match in 10 years between Dion Lennox and Miles Bourne. These are two of the younger groups that have a ton of potential and guys that could be your, say, a next Randy Orton or a next we could even say Braun Breaker. There's a lot of Braun Breaker qualities out of Dion Lennox when it comes to the speed and the power. Not necessarily to that extent, but I definitely can see it. As now
like
Javon Evans and Leon Slater are taking turns on Dion Lennox. Just reminding you what Darkseid has done to multiple people over the course of the last few weeks.
I was just going to say, I like how they're fighting over who gets to beat them up.
And you also have to look at this as a narrative going into this match. Dark State has made plenty of enemies over the course of their time in NXT.
Oh, yeah.
With Dion Lennox as the only representation from Dark State and him being the only heel in this match, he is opening himself up to just getting beat up by 4 men as his group is responsible for attacking the other 4 men in this match.
Yeah. And Dion Lennox just ties it up with Javon Evans with that pinfall after the devastating Doomsday device.
A devastating Doomsday device, but also kind of a variation of a scoop power slam combo that he hit on Javon Evans to get that 1, 2, 3, getting himself that pinfall in that point, but also doing it on one guy who is, like you said earlier, fighting for a chance to beat him up.
Mm-hmm.
But now he has got a little bit of breathing room as he is now sharing the lead with the man he just put in the penalty box, Javon Evans. No. Oh,
Took his head off with that axe kick.
yeah. As we saw Dion Lennox and Miles Bourne share maneuvers and reversals there. We have we saw that just that speed of Leon Slater come right in, and he showcases you not only why he's a champion, but why he's also a dangerous man in this matchup. Leon Slater wearing that green and purple. One of the big reasons is he has been showcased a lot with the Hardys in the last little while. He has not only formed a bond, partnership, brotherhood with both Matt and Jeff, but also is inspired a lot by them. And that is a way for him to show tribute and respect to the Hardy Boys, as those were the colors the Hardy Boys wore a lot during their time. As it So I gave you a moment to enjoy that without any talking in, but it is time for Joe Hendry to enter this match. And now for the next 10 minutes, we have all 5 men in this match.
And Joe Hendry received a fair pop coming out to that, by the way.
Yeah, and that pop is definitely non-sponsored Dr. Pepper, by the way.
Yeah.
As we just saw a double follow-away slam onto Joe Hendry, or from Joe Hendry on Leon Slater and Javon Evans. Well, it looks like WWE now finally understands the spin camera.
Almost.
Dion Lennox definitely ruining the party right now as he is preventing Joe Hendry from getting on the board. As he was getting ready for a choke slam. Yeah, the announcer's talking about the history between Joe Hendry and Dark State, as we can't forget Dark State has a history of almost making an enemy out of everyone in this match.
Oh, yeah.
But unlike Javon Evans and Leon Slater, Joe Hendry isn't particularly making sure he's going after just one person. He has taken his opportunity on every person in this match, and that might just be a very good way of him getting ahead.
Yeah, because while there's a lot of heat with everything that Darkseid has done to these 4 men, let's not forget that the winner of this match does get a championship match at New Year's Evil.
Yeah. As Joe Hendry now is on the board, as he has done what he couldn't do at WrestleMania. Oh, sorry, that is not Randy Orton. That is Miles Bourne, just the guy everybody thought was Randy Orton Jr. But nonetheless, Miles Bourne does take the fall there. Joe Hendry on the board. Sorry, you kind of have to find the humor in the fact that Joe Hendry faced Randy Orton in WrestleMania and now has faced somebody who looked like Randy Orton's doppelganger.
Yeah.
But despite the fact that Dion Lennox and his group Dark State is responsible for making an enemy out of everyone, he has spent 0 seconds in that penalty box.
This is true.
As Joe Hendry, Javon Evans, and Leon Slater are all kind of forms
Tearing
of
the house down.
quick reversals, quick pins.
No, that was a fun spot to see.
Miles Bourne now with 15 seconds left in the box. All men are down as we are about to hit 19 minutes into this match. Score right now for everyone as we have 6 minutes left in this match. Javon Evans, Joe Hendry, Dion Lennox, all at 1. Leon Slater and Miles Bourne, 0. Dion Lennox with a smart move as he kicks the door that opened up for Miles Bourne into the face of Miles Bourne.
We got Javon Evans on the top rope here, and it looks like Leon Slater may be thinking the same thing.
And how apropos is this? Leon Slater looking to get his first point of the turn of the match. against former TNA World Champion Joe Hendry. And he gets it.
Yeah, now the only one left that needs to get a point in this match to make it even is Miles Bourne right now.
Bobby is very happy Joe Hendry's in this match. Sorry for being a little late on the comment there, Bobby. As you can tell, this match, you have to keep your eyes because you blink and you miss everything. But as your earlier comments say, I was happy to see TNA wrestlers in this match. Well, the TNA X Division champion pinned the former TNA World Champion to get on the board here. Because right now, Miles Bourne is the only man in this match without a point, and he's definitely looking for one right now. But as we near 4 minutes left in this match, a very tight match here. Ooh, a zigzag on a Dion Lennox.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, what if it was Bourne that gets the pin on Lennox?
And that he did, as Miles Bourne has made this a 5-way tie with just under 3.5 minutes left. And now Dion Lennox goes after Joe Hendry in the penalty box. As Joe Hendry's time in the box is officially over, but he is not in a spot right now to move. So you have to think on Dion Lennox. That was a calculated attack onto Joe Hendry.
Mm-hmm.
As right now we are sitting with just over 22 minutes as Joe Hendry has decided to get payback in that cage and now is back in the ring as Miles Bourne pushes Joe Hendry away for a beautiful power slam.
Jesus. It's hard to follow what's going on right now.
Yeah. That's why I don't. That's why Bobby was so hard to be on top of the comments, because again, you blink, you miss so much. But that's exactly what you get with a match that has both Leon Slater, Javon Evans, Miles Bourne, Joe Hendry, Dion Lennox, who is now out of the cage. And for the next 3 minutes, here goes pure chaos.
Oh, wow. Locking Javon Evans and the referee who has the key locked in there as well.
What an amazing turn of events here. Probably the decision of the game here.
Yeah, I was just going to say, isn't the top? Yeah. Because I was going to say, I seem to remember Javon Evans doing the same thing last year. Because I'm pretty sure he was in the men's Iron Survivor last year.
My question is, why didn't a third official come out to get the key and help him out? As action is picking up as we have less than a minute left.
I wonder what happens in the event of a tie.
Well, we got 5 losers, best. As no one is letting anyone get anywhere. As it looks like Miles Bourne is going to...
No, Javon Evans.
Javon Evans has picked up the pin right before the buzzer, and Javon Evans, with a score of 2, wins the men's Iron Survivor match.
Wow.
And I will have to say, Joe Hendry's biggest mistake in this match was just not throwing Leon Slater out of the ring. It was
Yeah.
picking him up for that power bomb and giving Leon Slater life.
If he would have just tossed him out like he was in a Royal Rumble match and went over to pin Evans, I'm sure he would have gotten a 3 count at that point.
And that
But
opened the door up for Javon Evans, who was able to get that pinfall over Miles Bourne. In fact, it was Miles Bourne who was trying to get the fall there, and it was Javon Evans who rolled him up to get that 1, 2, 3.
in a sign of disrespect from Dion Lennox, as Javon Evans shook hands with everybody else.
As to expect, as
Yeah.
but I will say, now that we saw both Iron Survivor matches won just within the last few seconds, I hope next year when they do this again, we don't necessarily get that final second win.
Yeah, there's a part of me that kind of wants to see somebody get like a dominant win in the match.
Yes, but I also want to see kind of something where it's almost somebody get a comfortable lead and then have to play strong defense to win the match. And that is somebody that, if it was a guy like Ethan Page, 100% I could see him do something like this.
Yeah.
But as you said, New Year's Evil coming to you Tuesday, January 6th. Another match now official. The NXT Championship will be on the line as Obafemi, who won the title in the opening match, goes up with the man who won the Iron Survivor men's main event match in Javon Evans, as that now is what the newest match will be, as now we get that stare down between Obafemi and Javon Evans.
And the history between these two over the NXT title is something to behold between these two men.
Yeah. Now, if you're over on the Twitch side of things, I do have some friends over at Love Wrestling. Pluggo, Ella J, Boris, and Lawrence Carter. I'm going to raid you over there. So please give them some love there. As we are getting a video of somebody on a cliff. This has to be Tony D'Angelo, no?
It was somebody walking on a bridge or something. We haven't seen Tony D'Angelo in God knows how long. Oh, look.
Well, say his name and he appears. We have Tony D. As he has just floored Javon Evans. As we have to remember, it was Tony D'Angelo who defeated Obafemi for the North American Championship.
Yes, it was.
And now Tony D'Angelo stares a hole through Obafemi. As we have faded to black, which just means one thing. Clock has hit 0. Deadline is up. And the event has ended. So first off, I want to thank everyone who is joining us here. I do thank you so much for helping us. Chris Best, I want to say thank you for joining us here today on the Deadline Watch Party.
I missed watching NXT PLEs.
Yeah, you know why? I was super aggressive to do this now.
Yeah.
But with that being said, let everybody know what you have coming up, where people can find you, and what your thoughts of Deadline were.
Oh, geez. Bell to bell, from the opening bell to the final bell of the show, everything was just on fire with this show. I don't think that there was any really lull at all in this. Everything that happened made sense. But if you want to find me next, you'll see me Monday night for the Raw Patrol at 8 p.m. Eastern. You can find me at my link tree though, which is lanktr.ee/Chris_best83. And now over to you, Mr. Parrish.
Awesome stuff. Yes. We all know how I like to end things. I don't end things by promoting myself. I like to end things promoting everybody else. So with all that being said, people, if you want to catch me, remember tomorrow at 12:15 p.m. Eastern time, it is myself and RBV of the Hinman Sports Group or Media Group. I think I got it right one there. Whatever. He'll tell you tomorrow on the Chris Parrish podcast as we talk a little bit about NXT Deadline. I'm not going to let you know what I thought because I need you to come in and check that out tomorrow. Sorry, it's just how the game has to be played, people. But once again, I do want to take this time to say thank you so much for that love, that support. You know that my link tree is Chris Parrish. That is the best way of finding me. I do want to let everybody know that in the world we live, you can either be happy, you can be healthy. But at the end of the day, you matter. So make sure you take care of yourself. Thanks for watching and enjoy your Saturday night.
Rip through the clouds, faster, catch us from falling close to the ground. Perish or try to fight it.